All right, welcome back everyone to episode 8 of the Doc and Doc Show with Anthony and myself. Just solo today, me and Anthony. Figure we'll keep it nice and light, recap an amazing weekend of fights for our teammates, talk about that, get into a little bit of cool current events going on, mostly the KFK file release, see what's up with that, a little bit of people being unruly, and then leading up to another great weekend of UFC fights and then one championship fights. So let's get started. So our team, we have a pretty large team now that people are competing, which is fun and keeps us all active and like in good shape and ready to go. We had almost 8 fights. I know a couple got canceled, but between Pittsburgh 247 and Mavemen in Morgantown.
Yeah, I think I don't know the history or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure this was the most active weekend we've ever had as a team. So,
especially for the coach sides too.
Yeah.
We had 4 different coaches at minimum, like of our normal ones, all into 2 different spots.
Well, I know Mike, Will, and Warren and Coach Josh were all
Those are 6, yeah.
at 247. And then
Coach Randy and Coach Andy were down in Morgan.
Yeah, Coach Randy, Coach Andy, and then I think Visoki went to go help. So that's 7.
Yeah. Dude, it's one of the cool benefits of having the big team that we have, and everyone is knowledgeable and able to support each other.
Yeah.
I figured we'd start off with the hometown fights, the 247 fights. We had 4 people on that card. It was Lucas, Hugo, Joao, and who was the 4th?
Sky.
Yeah. And it's funny, that's one I'm missing, but that's the one that dude had that nice liver kid.
I'm telling you, when I go to these events, I usually don't have like a ticket because I'm helping out or whatever. So when I go to watch these fights, I try to get as close to the cage as I can if I'm not cornered or whatever. So when Sky walks out, I just walk, I take a beeline right to the cage, and I just try to stand as close as I can. And bro, I'm telling you, the sound of that body shot when that hit that kid's liver, I was like, oh my Lord. It's not
it came out clean in the audio.
Yeah.
I was streaming and then watching the replay, people putting up the reels, as wild. Cause everyone you could hear.
Yeah, dude, it sounded like a slap. Live, it sounded like a slap. And then on the video, it sounded like a thud.
And then you could see in the guy who got, that was straight up liver.
Yeah.
Nodding, dude, involuntary.
Yeah.
You could just tell he just bundled up. And then Sky, dude, showing no mercy, was like, oh, I gave him in the head belt. Strike a bit of body.
I was talking to Sky since, and he was like, yeah, I was thinking about just letting him back up. Cause
Mike was saying the same
what
thing.
He should do. Yeah. But, I think what people might not know about Sky is, he's from a boxing gym.
A boxing background.
Yeah. So he's got good hands, and he's going to find those little openings. If you're high guarding and your body's wide open, he's going to find them. So, and you got very good hands. And, I was doing his pad in the back, just making sure he was nice and loose and fast. And, I'm glad it translated to the cage. He might have lost the first round just because he got taken down and controlled a little bit. But, I think, I don't know what exactly Mike and Will said to him in the quarter, but it obviously worked. So, he turned it on the second round and got the finish. That was dope. And then,
and the whole thing is, knowing that Sky's not a wrestler, he didn't let the takedowns affect, which is nice, because I think this was a good confidence boosting fight. Sometimes you need to know that hey, I can get taken down and get back up, because he got back up.
Yeah,
eventually for all of it.
He had to deal with some adversity and overcome it. So, that's literally the synopsis of fighting. You got to deal with some shit and battle back and fight through it. And he did that. So, I was super proud of him and happy for him that he got the dub.
Yeah. He started on the night with a bang for us. And then Joao was fighting next for our teammates on the card. His one, dude, one thing is I respect, he just loves to take these short notice fights.
Yeah. He's a fighter, man. If you offer him a fight, he'll probably take it. Yeah. So I respect the shit of that.
Unfortunately, wasn't able to get the dub, but dude, for the short notice fight against someone that is good at what Joao was weak at, with the wrestling, it was a fantastic showing. And
yeah, and it's usually going to play out the way, just in terms of style matchup. If there's a really heavy wrestler and a really dominant striker, like the wrestler's going to look for his shots because he, just as I assume like a striker not having grappled their whole life, would feel like very uncomfortable on the ground. That's how that kid feels when Joao's standing in front of him throwing shit at him. So like,
and it just happens with like how the rule set is
right
in the amateur level. It definitely benefits the wrestlers because like you can't get kneed in the head. A lot of the stuff that you could deter in like a professional fight with like the more open rule set is not necessarily available. And even if that's being like Joao is a very good head kicker and he can't even head kick to like keep him honest at the amateur level.
Joao's a lot of Joao's tools are like, you know, stowed away.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for the rule set, but he'll be back and it's a learning experience. You know, they play it still amateurs, so
and he's still young.
Yeah, he's still super young.
Yeah.
And he'll probably be fighting again in 2 months, so he'll be able to get it back soon. So he'll be all right. You know, he just has to take this as a learning experience and work on what he knows he needs to work on, and he'll be back.
Yeah, dude, that's one thing is he's just a hustler. So I'm not worried. And then young gun Hugo, dude, this is the one I was excited about because I could feel this was going to be a good test for him in the MMA cage because he's been very good in Muay Thai and very good in the college level, like MMA, Bounty. But this guy was like an experienced, tough fight. And like one thing about Hugo is, dude, he came out like ready to scrap because he got hit and kept on going. Like you on his face, like Hugo was touched up. So it was like cool to see that like he didn't give up. Unfortunately, he didn't get out the win, but I'm excited to see what he does next because like he doesn't wrestle that much, doesn't do that, but like his striking was on a good level.
Yeah, I think I heard Mike say it on their podcast that he was very like impressed with Hugo and like kind of thinks more of Hugo even after that loss, and Hugo's abilities, which I would agree with. Like for how young he is and little experience he has, to go in there against a full grown ass man who has 5 like legit MMA fights and the dude's yoked up and looks like
especially you tell it different. Like, Hugo was so much taller, but the dude, it wasn't like he was like not fit for like the 185 or whatever fight. Like I don't know what. I
think it was 185.
But like the dude, you could compete at 185. He just said, "Are you like?"
Yeah, and yeah, dude. I thought Hugo was taking it to him. Like he was bringing the fight, which I think counts for a lot. You know, I think, you know, if you got 2 guys kind of just dancing around the cage and nothing's really happening.
But no,
he's trying to initiate the fight, which means a lot to the judges and, you know, to us as his teammates and coaches and whatever. But, I thought he was doing some really, really good things. And, you know, they're big boys. So playing that game, like you can get caught. So,
and especially the low buff sometimes. That one punch.
Yeah. But
I'm excited to see what he does next. Like, I hate to bring up because like sometimes the old school way is like not the right way, but like you can't like teach toughness, and it's cool to see Hugo is like,
yeah, you literally can't. Like you cannot teach toughness. Like you either had it or you don't.
Dude, he showed he had it.
Yeah, he's got it. So, yeah, I'm excited for what he does next, and he's you know, he's all good. He's just
bruised out.
Yeah, just bruised up with ego and all that, but he'll be back.
Yeah. So of course the co-main event, our teammate Lucas. Coming out against a pretty experienced fighter. Like I didn't realize until Will and them said like how many times we fought Andy too, like over 30 fights, dude. Like
yeah, I think he had 23 amateur fights and he was 7-5 going into this fight. So that's like 34 or 35 fights.
And he's young too. He's not that old.
He's like 26 or something. It's crazy.
Dude, so he's been through the ringer, be good and bad. You know, like that means there's a lot of wear and tear on the body, but it also means he's seen almost everything you could see as a guy of that level.
Yeah.
It was interesting too, because I didn't realize it. Cause I saw him wear like leveled up shoes, like during their weigh-in, like picture, but he is actually almost as tall as Lucas, if not a little bit taller.
Yeah.
Like they're like right there. So I feel like that's interesting for Lucas just because like usually for him, like coming into it, he's the taller one in their weight class. Cause he's a pretty tall, lanky 135 right now.
Yeah.
Right? But that, so like this was interesting. I was excited to see like how the fight would go.
Yeah. So like Friday we were like cutting the weight and everything, and then he called me as I'm coming to the gym, and he's like, "Hey, it's gonna be at 138 because they're saying that Cam can't make 135." So I'm like, "Okay, cool." weight cut goes good, and then we're at the venue doing the weigh-ins, and Derek walks up to me and he's like, "Hey, how's Lucas doing?" Because he was like somewhere else, like seeing a doctor or whatever. And I'm like, "Yeah, Lucas is doing he's doing awesome. Like his opponent missed weight, and his opponent was standing right next to me." So I was like, just a little bit of shit talking that I knew he could hear. I was just getting in his head as much as I could. But
I mean, that's a little bit like at that point, dude. He's had 9 pro fights. You've
had 12 pro fights.
Oh, 12.
How do you not figure out your weight cut at that point? Like,
and this one, you know where you should fight.
Yeah. But I don't really talk bad about him or anything. From what I heard and saw, I think he's like a super good dude.
Yeah.
And super respectful and all that. So no ill will towards him or anything like that. I hope he does well in his career and everything. But yeah, dude, Lucas looked good. I think he did what he had to do to win. I think he figured it out in real time in the cage, which is really hard to do, you know? If I knew kind of their game, obviously the game plan and everything like that. And I think it kind of changed as, the fight went on, and to be able to adjust in real time like that and still figure out a way to win is super hard to do.
It's one of the hardest things.
So super impressed with Lucas, and like Mike and Wilson, he'll have a bunch of cool big opportunities coming his way.
Yeah,
soon.
It's been nice to see every single one of, at least we can just say, just keep it simple, his pro fights. He's been slowly leveling up the things he's been working on every single fight. It's more and more a complete fighter. So it's pretty cool to see, even in this one, just everything he was piecing together. It wasn't just single stuff, and it was just all nice to see a complete, of course, everyone wants to finish, dude, because it's competitive. You want to put yourself up for these sick opportunities in the future, UFC, Contender Series, whatever it may be. Not that he, I don't know what he's going to announce or anything, but to me in general, it's a competitive big. 135 is one of the most popular weight classes. You got to stand out. So you're not always happy. You'd always say you could do better, but it was still as a fan and a friend of his and a teammate, it was one of his best fights. I think it's a step up in competition.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm super happy for him, and he's going to do some big things soon. So we'll see.
And then we could go down to West Virginia. Unfortunately, 2 of our guys didn't get to fight. Logan got bailed out for the quadruple gajillion time.
He pulled out against Brian Hess once, and then Logan once before this one, and then now this time. So
it's he's just not about it, so it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And then I guess I didn't hear this till later, but when they're talking about it for Dog, things they just didn't ship. Well, things tricked up just didn't. That's the worst. That's actually worst. At least with Logan, you didn't cut the weight.
Yeah.
You were dieting, and
that's fucked up.
But Dog's cutting weight for Barry to do everything.
In that kid's defense, though, the first time I heard that his opponent show up, I was like, I probably would have not shown up either. That was scary as fuck.
When I saw his picture, this is who you're fighting.
Yeah,
I would second guess it if I was in that weight class.
Dude, I think he's I don't know this for a fact, but I think he was in the army in Uzbekistan or wherever he's from. I think he has I think he was had lived a crazy lifestyle before he came over here.
He looks dangerous. Yeah, and he's nice. That's the worst. He's so nice. He just looks like a dangerous.
He's a killer, bro. Yeah.
I would avoid at all costs on that weight.
Yeah, same.
Unfortunately, thank God we're baby weights. So
dude, I was standing in front of that dude.
Yeah. And then so for the fights that actually happened, Josh Sarasnik starting the team off, nice, clean, 30-27 win. Just he's starting to. It seems like he's starting to feel what he needs to do to win, and just which is nice to see for a guy that's it's only a second fight.
Yeah, and there's a lot of danger. Obviously, there's dangers in every fight, but that's light heavyweight, bro. If you get touched wrong, you could go out. So,
dude, hands to fucking stand.
Yeah, dude, so, and they're easily walking in that cage 220 plus. So those are some big boys. So for him to figure out a way to win, and it only being a second fight is hats off to him.
Yeah, and then I wasn't sure what the next fight was. Was it Joe or was it Kevin?
It was Kevin.
Okay.
Yeah,
dude, up again. Tough fight for him. I know he lost to a submission against a brown belt, so that's always tough because Kevin's has the wrestling background.
Yeah, you could tell that kid has some good grappling because the second that choke was on, Kevin was like, "Oh, that's tight."
Yeah.
And then he got tapped. But from the video that I saw, like the start of the fight, everything, like his striking looked pretty. Like he had a good stance. He was like had good positioning. Had good spacing and all that. So it looked like he knew what he wanted to do and like the right things that he wanted to do and stuff like that. But you know, shit happens. It's a fight. You know, nothing to hang your head about. It's only amateurs, so just take it as a learning experience.
Especially against good competition, like fighting a brown belt when Kevin's a white belt.
Right.
Like straight up. Yeah, that's great for him. Like it's a good winning.
Yeah, same thing with Hugo. Like I told Hugo afterwards, I'm like, dude, every guy you face after this is not going to be that guy. Like you just faced a grown ass man with probably double the experience you have in MMA at least. So like that, like you leveled up even if you lost right now, you know. And that environment in the arena was like super crazy, and there were a lot of people there, and people don't talk about that either. But like just being at a show that big with that many people there, like that's
especially because Weston and your friends of Rowdy did. They all they do is live for fighting. Yeah. They live for these amateur shows.
Yeah,
they love it. Then
they just want to try to kill each other.
Yeah. Then didn't feel like Wet Day with West Virginia. It sucks that Lucas isn't here because I think if he was going to be on, just like to make the whole West Virginia joke.
Yeah,
because they're just either rednecks, girls fighting, or they're cannibals when they're third.
Cannibals.
All those movies, like those cannibal movies, they're out in the woods in West Virginia.
Dude, they would definitely be coming back at you with some Indian stuff.
That's what you got to give, just like you take.
Yeah.
And then our boy Joe was up, dude, coming into it, super prepared. It seemed like ready to go. Like this was like gonna be a good test for him.
Yeah, Joe trains hard.
Yeah, and dude, he's fun to watch because like his progression's been very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Like with what he has, he has the wrestling background, but then like he's bringing his striking up, bringing his jiu-jitsu up,
and he's also about it. Like he's one of those guys that like he's got the toughness in him that you like can't teach.
Yeah,
like kind of like Jersey and those guys, but like yeah, he's always game to fight, and he's not going to back down. And yeah, dude, and it was a good fight. I rewatched it because he sent it to me. And by all accounts, was up 2 rounds. And then I think the weight cut, because it was same days, and he did same day 135, which is like real tough. Like you're doing a legit weight cut and then fighting the same day, which is like, you know.
And your bodies are a little bit compromised.
Yeah.
The amount of fluids you lose.
Right.
Even if you gain it back, you're not really gaining it back.
Yeah, you need way more time than that to recover and like feel okay. I did my second amateur fight was the same day, 135, and I felt like fucking complete dog shit.
Yeah.
So I know it's hard. I pretty much know how it felt in there. Like you just don't have anything in you to do anything. Like you just feel like it feels like if you were to the bell rings like right when you wake up in the morning. Like it's real hard. You know what I mean? So
it's by like my gimmick, or not even gimmick, but my like trick to try to get me like up and going. Like not, I don't know if it's legal or not. I don't know idea. Cause like I think Will and Mike are just trying to like mess with me like for the 247 ones. But I usually drink like a purple haze, like what's that energy drink that's they got banned? Not banned, but they got in trouble because they said like super creatine on.
Right.
Oh, Bang. Yeah.
Oh, Bang.
Yeah. I drink like a purple haze Bang before a fight to like do that because like I remember when I cut them up 30, like same day wins, I was feeling something similar where I was just like, yeah, this is weird. Like this was the first time cutting all low because I usually cut to 135 soon.
Yeah.
I just did a little cheat of the energy drink, but like, you know, you can definitely feel the energy like difference.
Yeah. I try to get some caffeine in me before I fight too. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But good thing he figures that out in amateurs. And if he ever has to fight same days again, hopefully it's not at 135, you know. But he's got 3 fights now, so you can come fight Pennsylvania with like
I think this was
advanced amateur rules.
I think this was his 4th fight. So
Nah, he's 2-1 now.
Oh, he's 2-1.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason I thought it was 3-1.
But he can come to Pennsylvania without shin guards and the ground and pound and all that. So he's not like married to Ohio anymore.
He can the day before weigh-ins, which is
right. Right.
That'd be good for him for the next one.
Yeah.
And then was there anyone else, or was that those 3?
No, I think that was it. Like other notable fights on those cards that like were kind of invested in was Kama, which was, that sucked. But,
You just vetted the game though. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's still cool to see him just like go out there and still fight.
Yeah, and he lives and dies by the sword. He's looking to knock you out, and sometimes it happens to you. So, but yeah, he's a legend in the city and around this area. So I wish nothing but the best for him and his family. I actually work with his brother. So like,
I remember you telling me that's funny.
yeah. So I was sitting next to his brother, and I was, it's hard. That stuff's hard, but props to Kama for even getting in there at this age. It's pretty wild.
He really has nothing to prove. He's done it all.
Yeah, he's like UFC. Like, what else to prove?
He's definitely like top 3 like OG Pittsburgh fighters.
Yeah,
like, career wise, you can't. Like,
yeah,
and that's a nice thing too. Is like when I like to say career wise, because you can't dispute the facts.
Mm-hmm.
Your career is your career. Like,
yeah,
whatever the results are. So like,
yeah, I hope he just takes fights now that like he really wants to do. Not necessarily to like get back to a certain place, but like just because he wants to go in there and have fun, which I mean he's probably already doing anyway. But like just like fun fights for him,
for sure. And then unfortunately, UFC debut didn't go her way.
Mm-hmm.
It was a tough fight. Like that girl was experienced as well, and just like
they're all really good striking.
And sometimes like all it takes is that one strike when you're not expecting it, and I think for someone like we were talking about Kama that lives and dies by the sword, Nessie loves to come in with like those strikes.
Yeah.
And you live and die by the sword. But she's tough. She'll come back.
Yeah, she'll be back, and then hopefully she comes back here.
That'll be fun because you gave us great training.
Yeah, I would like to see her get in front of Coach Will and spend some time with Coach Will. I think that'd be good.
And
but
Coach Michael to wrap on too.
Yeah, but she'll be back, and it's the UFC. It's the highest of highest levels. So.
And then that brings me to not long night topics really to discuss just in general is applying trading to your funds. And I figured we could use me and you as a guinea pig to talk about this just because it's a little bit easier. But like, say you have a fight coming up, like so we'll just use your example right now of March. Like, at the end of March, you have this pro fight. When would you stop trying to apply like a new skill and just focusing on like, hey, this is what I'm going to do? Like, how soon to them?
I don't know. It's kind of tough because you never really want to like block anything out. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to be given information and be like, I'm not going to use that right now. You know what I mean? So I think it's always good to be receptive of everything at any time. But I think once you sign the contract and you have a fight in X amount of weeks, I think it's more tailored to like game plan and conditioning and applying that game plan in your sparring and stuff like that. But I think to answer your question, I would probably say like at the start of camp, you probably don't want to like be adding too many things that's gonna like overload your computer. You know what I'm saying? But I think most of that, like the learning and the skill development is like done when you don't have a fight.
Yeah, no, I agree. So for me, what I like to do is, because it just keeps me engaged and it's not going to overload my brain, I'll always pick one defensive thing and one offensive thing. That's the only new things. Like, not that I still won't learn new things. Like if we learn stuff during like advanced class or whatever, I'll still learn how to like drill those or put those into pads or like too much like of where I'm doing the extra prep like for like, the fight. But there will be like two things I'll do. Like, so I remember, for example, after I came back from Thailand, like in 2023, I had a fight in May, like right after. So like after Thailand, I was feeling like super confident in my kicks. And this third fight, I was like, I haven't really thrown a lot of kicks in fights yet that much or confidently. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to like, it was 2 months out. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to continue this like left kick and open stance and just figure out everything I need to do, doubling it up, every kind of variation and work on that, like low kicks and all that stuff. So that was like my focus, like that. And then, I added that in for like that fight game. Like I like one or two things. And then I know for this past year, like this last fight, what I wanted to do was work on like head movement, especially like the pull into like a kick or a two in open stance. And that's what I added and kept on working on for my last June fight.
I'm actually going to contradict myself, but Like, so there's something specific that he does that like we were working on for the past couple weeks and like even today. And, I mean, that would technically be like a new skill that we're developing right now. So yeah, I don't know. It's like like I said, you don't really want to like shut close the doors on it and be like, no, not right now. Cause there's really never a bad time to add something to your tool bag. But, it's definitely more focused towards like the fight itself and the game plan but I mean, that's part of the game plan. So you never know.
I think the best way to say this is in two parts.
Mm-hmm.
I have to simplify it down. I think you want to be working on one or two things, like in the sense of you don't want to stagnate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how you're saying, like, you're doing something specific for your game plan, so that makes sense. So you're not stagnating. But like, say you're an amateur fighter, you want to continue to grow your toolbox. There's like something you want to work on where you should say, hey, this fight, I want to do this.
Yeah.
I think, but you also want to balance it with not overloading, because I don't know what you can handle. You don't know what I can handle. And like, our coaches don't really know what we can handle necessarily. So you have to be very self-aware.
Yeah.
Knowing what you can
Everybody learns different.
Exactly. Like for me, I know my max is two things.
Mm-hmm.
One offense, one defense.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I'll add on to it. But if I know going into something, it's just like those two things, it lets everything else naturally like her.
Yeah.
And I start to figure like interesting things. How like some of the stuff I like to do came all from the simple fact of just like, hey, I just want to do this left kick, or I want to do this pull.
Mm-hmm.
And then I naturally figured out other parts of my game that I wasn't thinking that happens. I think keeping things simple as possible helps to grow. And I do it. I think every fight, like, you want to be like learning a whole new system, but I think it's like very beneficial to like have a new thing that you're playing around, and also make training more fun. Because to me, sometimes the grind of continually sharpening the same tools does work its toll.
Yeah, wear it on your mind. And where you can wear on your body.
Yeah. So like this at least keeps it fresh.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's talk about the fun stuff we want to talk about next. Let's start off with the JFK file release. So guys, background on this thing. So, for people who aren't like, historically like knowledgeable or anything like that, it is what it is. Basically, big controversy back in the day, JFK assassination. Like, there's so many theories out there. My history teacher got me into this whole like conspiracy theory stuff. US AP, like 11th grade. He took a whole week off, Anthony, and showed us this whole theory on the JFK assassination.
Okay.
And like, the fact that he was so pumped about this, I wish I still kept in contact with him, or I hope he's still alive because he's kind of old.
Yeah.
But like, I want to know what he's thinking for this footage, because this is all he was caring about. Like he marked this day when like the Library of Congress would release or be allowed to release all this stuff, just because like some stuff doesn't matter. Like, I hate to be like a conspiracy theorist, but like some things don't make sense.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think anything that was released yesterday, not that like you read, I haven't read it either. Fucking 80,000 pages. No one can read it, or no one could have read it all by now because it just came out yesterday. But like, do you think anything in those files were redacted?
So I think
I know they say they were, but like, do you believe they were, or do you think they were? You know what I mean?
It's tough because like we have no proof if it is or isn't. Like, I have to wait to make my take on it once like people like review it and release like synopsis or like notes of everything, like what it says.
Yeah,
it looks like they making a really neat shut and closed case to like what they already announced back in the day. I'm calling like, that is bullshit.
Yeah.
But like, it's tough.
So when I got back home from practice last night, I saw that they were released, and then I went to ChatGPT and was basically like, hey, is there any substantial new evidence that would like come up with a new conclusion to what happened? And basically they were saying no. So they were saying that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone in that instance. However, they were saying that there is sufficient evidence where he was like involved with the KGB, which is the Russian intelligence back in the day, and Cuba. So like like it's hard to like really dig deep into that, because I don't think like how can you like figure that out? Like you would have to do like an investigation into like the foreign government's like intelligence and stuff like that. But I did see some weird stuff where like some CIA director was like meeting with him like a couple weeks prior, and there was like an agent that was was in the car that asked someone to bring him like an extra set of clothes and stuff. So like, who knows if like he knew what was about to happen. But yeah, weird. I don't know. But from what ChatGPT tells me, it's pretty much like the same conclusion that was reached, but just like a little more in depth, like intelligence and like background.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm not too surprised that's like the two theories, because like, gun to my head, like I figure one of two things are involved. It was either like an assassination, like from a foreign government, like, getting it done because of like with Kennedy JFK doing everything against like Cuba, like the Bay of Pigs, all that stuff is tied. And, at that time, like the communist nations were sticking together because like Russia wanted a foothold close to the US for a Cold War type, like nuclear attack. Like, so Cuba was very important to them. At the same time, we were trying to like make sure we wanted Cuba as much as we could to prevent Russia from having a foothold kind of thing. Because like we had Japan at the time, so we could always use them quickly because like after World War II, we owned Japan. But at the same time, that's like the interesting conspiracy theories. It sucks that, I mean, good or bad, I guess it's good that CIA isn't. It's like the ones that assassinated him. Yeah. But it made an interesting theory because my history teacher was talking about like, hey, there was like a running theory that Lee Harvey Oswald was just like a operator for the CIA, and like they kind of like disavowed him kind of thing because like CIA can't operate on U.S. soil.
Right.
Like all that stuff. Like he was like an agent, like not like a legit secret agent, but like I guess the thing with the CIA is they use regular people to become agents.
I mean, they have evidence that the CIA, I forget his name, but there was a CIA agent that met with Lee Harvey Oswald in some club like weeks before that it happened. So, I mean, it's so crazy to think about the fact that our own government could have been responsible for assassinating our president
just because they didn't agree with like the way that he was doing things.
Right. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't he like he was trying to bring like peace everywhere, right? JFK?
Yeah, he didn't want war.
Yeah, so like I feel like every president that is like trying to like bring peace and doesn't want war, like somebody profits off of war, right? Like you ever see that evidence where the Rothschild family is like responsible for funding like every single war in history?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's like I would have to read it for you to help misquote anything, but like basically like the Rothschild family is like they owe the banks, they owed everything. So they're like responsible for funding like World War I, World War II, the Vietnam War, all these wars. So like, who knows, they're involved in trying to get JFK out of there. But yeah, who knows, dude, it's crazy. I want to see, I think it's going to take some time because it's so convoluted and intricate, but I want to see these Epstein files, bro.
Oh yeah, that's going to take forever.
I think when like Kash Patel and Pam Bondi got in office and they were like, we're going to get these out day one. Like, if anybody believed that, you're a dummy.
Yeah. Like, they don't have enough. They don't have enough. Because the thing is, people forget that, like, even though these guys are like the leader of the FBI or leader of the CIA or this, that, the other, they're not the day-to-day agents, the day-to-day, like, those people. Someone there has enough operators and everything. Like, if you're going to try to fuck with them, they'll fuck with you way before. And and they don't care if like Kash Patel dies, but like Kash Patel will be like, I'm not trying to. Yeah. There's enough out there that I'm like,
remember a couple weeks ago when they were trying to get like they were trying to get some stuff from like the New York district office, the FBI office, and they were like withholding documents and stuff. So like, even if the FBI director has like a clear like mission in mind and like is trying to figure some shit out, like the New York FBI office can like fuck with like impede that.
Because no one wants to get in trouble, so they're going to protect their own ass. Because like, anything that these guys do at the level they're doing it, it's like national security, it's like national level stuff. Like, who knows if they committed treason or not? But no one wants to get caught for that because that's like life in jail, or death. So,
and to add and to pivot to the Doge stuff, like I think it's crazy. It would be like if someone robbed a bank, and someone came into that bank and was like, hey, this is what happened. This is the people who did it. This is like, here's how it happened. Here's all the evidence, and here's what's, here's to lay it out for you. And then everyone's like, you shouldn't have access to that. You shouldn't be able to do that. It's like, you're pointing the finger at the wrong person, dude. It's like, if you look at the Doge website and you look at the Doge, line items that they're cutting and stuff, it's like, I haven't found anything in there that like wasn't frivolous or like abusive spending of what is yours and my and everybody's taxpayer dollars. But like, because it's one side and the other side disagrees with it, now it's like, it doesn't even matter if they're doing good. And you just disagree with it.
And what it boils down to is people's personalities and what they like, everyone's selfishness. Because right now, you could see it. The best analogy for this, or like comparison, is with Fauci doing what he did for like COVID and be like, yo, we got to protect ourselves to this. And then everyone agreeing with him, but then certain people didn't agree with him. And then saying like, why can you do this, do that? But now that the other side of the coin is this, Elon's doing, things, that he's not elected. Fauci wasn't elected, the whole thing. And now we're getting the same reactions where some people are like, oh, that's good that he's doing this. Like, we should like listen to him like he's doing good. And then other people are like, oh no, that's bullshit. At the end of the day, I think what it is are people suck in general. They just love to complain. Yeah. It is what it is. Like and both sides are wrong in this situation, I think, because they want it both ways. Cause like the people who are lying, like that are agreeing with Elon are the same people that disagree with Fauci, but like, that's contradictory. Just like the people who agree with Fauci are disagreeing with Elon. They're doing the same bullshit. Like, you can't have it, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like,
yeah. And they're different situations. Like they're different, they're dealing with different things.
But I think the basis of it is the same where like, they're trying to do good. Like their initial thing, or at least what they told.
Yeah.
So like, if you take that word for it, I'm not going super deep in that, but like, they're just trying to like, help and do what they are, and neither one was elected. So what? But like, your elected official did choose them. So and there's a certain point people don't understand. Like, look at all the cabinet members, like in like Secretary of State's, Secretary of Defense, Treasury, all that. Appointed. All the cabinet members are appointed. We didn't elect them, but you don't hear anyone complaining about that. And that's the same thing. Like when we elect an official, we're basically electing and approving all their choices. Mostly like to that sense, like good or bad, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Or we'd have an election for it.
Right.
That's my thing about it is like, and right now it's not like the money's going into Elon's pocket or anything like that. Like Tesla stock is
actually losing money.
Technically Tesla stock's going up and down. And don't get me wrong, everyone chooses to do something for their own benefit, and more likely than not, Elon will get some benefit out of this. But it's the name of the game right now. Like, you can't blame him. And if he's cutting and saving money on frivolous things, like that's always a good thing.
Yeah. And if someone's going to do it, I would want the smartest person in the world to do it. He's ran multiple businesses that are billion-dollar businesses. Like he knows how to run a business that makes money. So,
and that's the thing. That's his superpower. People don't understand that he's actually not an idea genius. Like that's not his expertise. Like he had an idea and be like doing it. And what he's very good at and what his businesses show with their success has been taking something that's already successful enough or like a good idea and streamlining it and making it sharper and sharper to like accelerate.
Yeah, because he didn't like start Tesla.
No, he bought it.
Yeah.
And SpaceX, he bought it. Like these things he's done.
What was his first?
He was in PayPal. He helped create it. Like PayPal wasn't like his idea, but he helped like with that stuff involved.
And then he
exited out of PayPal with like everyone else. Like it's crazy, dude. Like I'm gonna give you a list of these names who were like they call them the PayPal Mafia.
Okay.
because like every one of these guys got their foot in the door in something else. So they're all just like a group of former PayPal employees and founders. And for anyone who's not like, who's super young, who might not know what PayPal is now, because like it's getting obsolete. You use to like make transactions online, specifically with eBay was its most popular thing.
Yeah, I think I used PayPal like a handful of times maybe. I think I still have it actually.
Yep. Dude, so they went on to found like, so Peter Thiel was this founder and CEO. He went on to be the first outside investor in Facebook. So he's a billionaire, even more. He was already exited out. One dude, Max Levchin, founded, he's a CEO of a firm, which is like a payment thing that you see like when you shop online and you want to break down a payment of like, maybe it's $500. They'll do like 6 monthly payments.
Okay.
Like they do like a credit thing. Elon Musk, like, of course, another co-founder that like he merged his company Confinity to form PayPal. That's where he was, like X.com.
Oh, I've used that before. Confinity.
Yeah. And then they merged together to create PayPal, but his was like the X. It's funny, you know why Twitter is named X? Because like Elon officially, his thing was that he made an online bank called X.com.
I thought he just had a boner for like the letter X.
No, that's what it was. He had the X like domain.
Okay.
So it's funny.
I still call it Twitter. Like,
yeah, I call it Twitter.
I still call it Twitter. Yeah, like I still call it.
So that was like the banking thing behind PayPal too. So
okay,
that makes sense.
Did it say how much he like cashed out of PayPal for?
Let me double check.
I don't know what it was, but I remember reading that like he basically put all that into like SpaceX and Tesla.
Dude, one of the engineers, like not even like a founder of PayPal, is one of the co-founders of YouTube.
Oh shit!
Someone helped found LinkedIn. Another dude was a part of YouTube.
It wasn't the dude's name that was part of LinkedIn, because I heard he was on the Epstein list.
Reid Hoffman.
I heard he was on the
list. Yeah, he was an early investor in Facebook, and then he later founded. He currently sits on the board of Microsoft. Like all these dudes, it's funny how like, one of the dudes also co-founded Yale.
Damn, bro. So they all like went on to do like.
I can only imagine how that room of nerds must have been. Like they're bouncing ideas off each other.
Yeah.
Because like, dude, that's like 6 big corporations and businesses that started off as startups. They weren't like big to begin with.
Yeah.
Blew up in this like what PayPal's founded. And you can say it got big 1999, 2000, like, give or take. Like, so 25 years and all these other companies came out of that same company.
Completely unrelated, but the dude who, I think part owner of the AOL, that was like the Cats, the Wizards, the WNBA team in Washington. I think he owned like half of AOL and then got out of it, and then he like bought all those teams in DC. So it's crazy like how much money is like tied up into those businesses. Because like, what did he cash out for of PayPal? Elon.
So let's see.
Bro, you need ChatGPT.
Yeah.
You just fucking type a question to ChatGPT and it like gives you an answer.
He received $175 million. So eBay bought PayPal
In
for
what year?
$1.5 billion in stock in 2002.
Jesus.
And Elon was the largest shareholder at the time with 11% shares, received $175.8 million.
I'm gonna ask, what did Elon do with his PayPal payment? Because I think he put it like all into Tesla. What? So it. I don't know. Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
It's interesting. Musk led the Series A investment of Tesla, but he only had to put 6.3 mil. So where it's at now, dude, it's crazy.
It says that he got out with $180 million after taxes from his PayPal, and then instead of saving it, he reinvested almost all of it into new ventures. $100 million into SpaceX, $70 million into Tesla, and $10 million into Solar City. I don't even know what that is. But he even had to borrow money to run it at one point because he went all in on these 3 investments. I'm sure that works out now.
It's just crazy that like this story about behind X and like PayPal, like the founders didn't trust Elon for like in that X.
Mm-hmm.
So they ousted him as CEO in the beginning when it was just still X.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess when they merged, Musk returned as CEO for them.
Oh, okay. And then what did he buy Twitter for? It was like 40 some billion, right?
I probably down here real quick. And then it's funny, like they replaced him because of like certain like stuff. So the deal got replaced, then they kicked out Musk. And it's just like an interesting thing. Like one thing you could say with like SpaceX and Tesla, at least he learned from like the PayPal stuff, where like he knows how to streamline and make make a company a little bit better than what it really originally was. Yeah, no. So he bought Twitter for $44 billion.
Was that all liquid cash?
No. 12 was in loans and 21 was in equity financing.
What does that mean?
So basically, like equity financing is like slowly like using the ownership interest, and like that's like they finance it through that.
Oh, okay.
So it's offsetting like debts and other clients.
Oh, okay.
Just as like a high level.
So how much liquid cash did he put into that buy?
I would say with that about a little bit less than like about 12 billion.
That's insane. Like anybody even just has that sitting around.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Yep. Because doing the math, like after the loans and the equity finance, it's at 12 bill.
Does he own all of it? All of X?
I don't know if he owns all of X.
It was definitely a good thing though, because Twitter was starting to like censor a lot of stuff. They were starting to like shadow ban a lot of stuff they didn't agree with. And yeah, it was crazy for a little bit.
See, the interesting thing though is like to that same extent now, it's funny how like people are, because now like people are talking about this blue sky thing that's like more like Twitter-esque before. So like some people are flocking towards that. I don't know, it's interesting because like at the end of the day, social media, like it should just be freedom of speech. Like, and it sucks because I do understand the censoring part where like you want to like censor false information, but now everything is so wide that you can't like figure out.
Yeah, like there's stuff I see where I'm like, I don't even know if that's true or not.
And that's a wild thing. It's like hard to like fact check.
Yeah. What I do like about X now is they have those like community notes. So like if something is like so outrageously false, someone can cite something and put it under the post, and then like it'll pretty much just say like it's bullshit. So yeah, good.
Yeah.
Well, there is some shit on X like I don't want to see. There's like some violent shit on there. I'm like, I wish I didn't see that.
Oh, do you remember half the team was saying like X was showing like dumbass, like not like dumbass stuff, but like just people like stabbing each other.
Yeah.
All this. It was like one day, like 2 weeks ago or something. I was like, dude, that's wild. Yeah, it was either Instagram Reels or X. I can't remember. It was just like random, like they said like everything was just shown.
I wish they had like a thing that like covered the video with a picture or something, whatever they're doing, and say it's like graphic content or something. That way, like, because sometimes you see that shit on accident and you're like, oh, I wish I didn't see that.
And so we'll segue out of the politics and get into a very stacked and fun UFC fight night card. And we're with Brady. Like,
what time does that start here?
It starts, prelims are 1 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
Main card 4 p.m. So it's not too early. 4 p.m. Like, it'll be done around 6 and then we can have dinner. But this one's just like one of the better fight night cards. And it's weird. I think this year they've just been having better people on them. Like, Edwards and Brady, like, who would have thought they would headline a fight night card? Because like, maybe it's my nostalgia speaking, where like, I think Edwards and Brady are still top 10, if not like top 5 welterweights still.
I think they're both in the top 5 right now.
Yeah. So it's weird to see them headline something that's not enough.
Yeah.
Just like Izzy was headlining fight night too. Or like, this one's tough. Like, to me, Brady is a great example of a true mixed martial artist. He does a little bit of everything. I forgot who it was, but someone was saying, this telling us a story because Sean Brady trained with one of our like brother gyms, Daniel Gracie.
Yeah, I've seen him for a person.
Yeah.
He's huge, bro.
Yeah. It's why I guess someone was trying to make a compliment. Like, man, dude, I wonder how long Sean's been wrestling, like D1 or like whatever. It was saying something about him, like being just like, dude, his wrestling's insane. Daniel Gracie was just like, dude, he's but that shows like how quickly he like accelerated, and it also shows you don't need to be good at traditional wrestling to be good at MMA wrestling. It's like a difference.
Yeah. Is Sean Brady in the black belt? And is he a BJ black belt?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
I'm ChatGPT it.
Yeah. It's interesting though. His only blemish is the Bilal fight. And I wish he could take that back. I'm going to rewatch it because like I thought for sure this was going to be.
Yeah, I remember watching that fight. He is black belt. I remember watching that fight. I watched it in Maryland because I was cornering some of my old teammates for a card out there, and we were watching in the hotel room. And I was like sure that Sean Brady was gonna just run through Bilal, and then Bilal just ran through him. And I was like, "Damn, dude!"
Because the thing is, Bilal, and I don't want to say, I'm saying with all due respect with Bilal, he is not a super clean, pretty looking striker. Yeah. He's pretty much reminds me a lot of like not as bad as like a DDP for the welterweights. Like, but the thing is, he is a dog when he comes. He'll wrestle. He'll get to the ground. He'll do all the dirty stuff.
And he doesn't gas.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. True. He has that gassing. And Brady did gas in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's fighting up against one of my favorite fighters. Like, just like, this is like a tough, like, brain versus like hard thing. Because to me, Leon, he's a very flawed mixed martial artist because he's not the best grappler. And he does have good takedown defense, but like, it's tough to see. Like, because he did like, you see two big examples. It's the first fight with Kumara. He got like pretty much dominated the first one. And then the fight with Bilal, I know Leon was saying stuff about like, it was like a time issue because they fought so late in London relatively to like put it on prime time here and all that. But like, those are two distinctly like he got outclassed. Brady is a very similar fighter to Kumara to me, like total package that can take the fight anywhere. It is going to be a tough matchup for him because like Leon is the best striker, I think, at welterweight, hands down. You can't.
I think it's weird because I think before he fought Kamaru, he was on what, like an 11-fight win streak or something?
Dude, like he was just doing insane shit. Like he literally fought Nate Diaz completely in open sense. They're both southpaw, but he fought him in orthodox like the whole fight.
Yeah,
like things like that. Like
he also fighting up Bilal.
Yeah,
but it was ended in an eye poke. But he was beating him up.
Yes,
I think there's just some nights where he just doesn't show up.
I think at the inconsistency. So I'm curious. There's two things I want to see. But like, we need him to show up to this fight and beat Brady because if he doesn't beat Brady, he's not going to fight for the title. But I do. Yeah. I'm just curious to see what the rematch would look like between him and Bilal because I think he'll be more prepared for it. I'm just in my head because like the other thing too was like look at the second Usman and Leon fight. Even though Leon lose that fight up until the last round, he was first fighter of the second fight.
Oh, right, because they fought before that.
Yeah, they fought. They fought 3 times.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The second fight, like when he came back and won it, like things like he was still losing that fight, but he found a path to victory. Did it? And like each of the 3 fights, because there's 3 fights, like he got better each and every fight against Usman.
Yeah, and in the third fight, I think he won all 5 rounds, baby.
Oh yeah. He definitely won out. So this is going to be a fun fight. I'm just excited to watch it. My head tells me Brady.
I think my head also tells me Brady.
But my heart hopes Leon wins.
How old is Leon? And how old is Sean Brady?
33, 32. So they're right around the prime. They're pretty much prime.
Yeah.
Like grown men, strength, everything. Height-wise, a little bit of a difference. Leon's 6'2", Brady's 5'10". Open stance fight, so it'll be interesting to see. But like, I think betting-wise, right now, Brady is a minus like 155 favorite. I think money-wise, I still put on Brady because it's not that high of a odds thing where like it's a solid. It's fine.
And what's Leon's record?
Leon's record is 22-4. Brady's 17-1. So very similar experience to like, you know, like we're talking about like at this point because they've almost had 20 fights each. It's 5 fight differences.
Does it have their rank on there?
I don't see their rank.
Yeah, I'm interested because if Sean Brady were to win that,
I think he gets a title fight.
You think so?
Oh wait, never mind. Fuck, Shotcom just hurt. Never mind. Because
and they got to get. Oh wait, how that's going to 185? So not sure anymore.
No, yeah. As I said, it's Shotcom.
I just saw today that they might do Ian Gare's Colby. It's like pretty much done.
Good, because I think Ian Gare's gonna beat that ass. And he's just gonna beat that ass.
Hey, Joao Buckley beat that ass.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think Ian Gare needs like a nice little pick me up because like the fight with Shotcom was good.
Oh, very good.
People like love to talk shit about it, but like that was a high level fight for people who understand.
Yeah, my perception of Ian Gare was starting to change before that fight, but it like completely changed after.
Even through that loss. Yes, dude. I think he is more a real deal than people give him credit.
Mm-hmm.
So second co-main event or second, the last fight on the card is going to be Jane Blachowicz. I'm always butchered that.
Jan Blachowicz.
Yeah, Blachowicz versus Carlos.
No, sorry, not Blachowicz.
Versus Carlos Ulberg.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't butcher that one. The not young, but like younger boy relative to from New Zealand, dude. So, dude, those Australian, New Zealand dudes are just dogs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like, there's a significant difference in experience because, John is 42.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos is 34. And even at 34, he hasn't had that many fights. Carlos is only 12-1, so he hasn't really been.
So doesn't he have like hella kickboxing fights though?
I literally look up his.
I think he came from like, I think he was kind of like Izzy, where he has like just shitloads of kickboxing fights. But he's also from City Kickboxing, right? Ulberg.
Yes, City Kickboxing. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, he has 21 kickboxing.
Yeah, even though he's like, I mean, relatively inexperienced, next to Jan. I mean, that dude's probably been doing MMA shit forever. If he's out of City Kickboxing.
Yeah, I think I'd go with Carlos.
Yeah,
I think it's easy, Carlos.
Unless Jan can implement his grappling and just implement his will on him, I feel like, because Jan's like a real black belt. He did that to Izzy too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when it's like, I mean, Izzy was a little bit small. I think for that, like, he shouldn't have went up to less weight, but I think he did. It's tough. And then the other thing too is like Jan fought Ankalaev better than I think like Pereira.
Yeah, for sure. I think Jan probably had a little more confidence in his takedown defense than Pereira did a couple weeks ago. So that's why he was like more willing to stand in front of him.
And I think Jan's like, if we go down, we'll go down.
Yeah, he's like, whatever.
But Carlos is -1 290 right now, according to ESPN. I think that's still fine. Like, parlay bet. I'm going with that.
Is that big of a favorite?
Yeah.
Really? What's Jan's record?
29-10 and 1 no contest. And then 12-1 is Carlos. I think they're just going with the age difference, like almost 10 years. And it's not like Carlos does easy fights.
Yeah. Jan was a champion though.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be an interesting fight. I think I want to stay away from the betting just because I'm fucking super sad about what happened last night with my bet. I needed Damian Lillard to hit 2 more threes from the first quarter on. And from the second quarter to the fourth quarter, he put up like 7 3-point attempts and couldn't hit one. And I would have won like 100.
It's just a culture. That's the awkward thing with basketball. So like, you don't expect it, but like when I think they get in their head, like, it's just like any kind of sport, like when you keep on shooting, you miss,
yeah.
And you kind of go into quicksand where like, the more you struggle, the worse.
Yeah. And then like he was starting to drive and then like not even post up and be on the arcs. It's like, motherfucker, bro. Like I said, like the $20 isn't like a big deal. It's just like so fucking annoying that like you couldn't hit that shit.
Dude, so this one,
I get it.
The next fight, I think I want to bet this one because it's Kevin Holland versus Gunnar Nelson.
Yeah, what are the odds on that?
Odds are right now, Gunnar is the favorite at -125. Kevin Holland is +105. So I'm going to double check my FanDuel after we're done with the pod. Because if he's still a betting like dog, I'm putting some money on Holland. Because I think like even though he's the dog, I think a lot of this stuff
on Holland right now. He's on a big L streak, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's loves fighting.
I know every time I bet against Holland, he wins. So like,
a lot of the individual stuff I like right now, like, dude, and Holland has that height difference, 6'3" to 5'11", reach difference of almost 10 inches, 71-72, yeah. And like those are things, and he's like 4 years younger. Like,
Jan not Jan, we're bad.
And Holland had some time to prep for this, so I'm thinking like, and the cool thing is like Crew Bob Perez, like, his main striking coach down there, like from like in Texas, he's a dog. Like he coaches like Derek Lewis, all those guys. Like he's gonna get that.
What weight is it at?
170.
Yeah, I don't know. Gunnar is like a crazy black belt, and that's been Kevin. You already
he had the BJJ. Like
I don't know, dude. I would
because RDR did get him on a sub,
but it was at 185, right?
Yeah.
So he was huge, probably compared to Holland and the King. Actually, I actually remember looking at some states release like the day of the fight, like all the fighters' weights. I remember seeing that like Ritter was like in the like 200 plus, and Kevin Hahn was like 187 maybe.
Yeah, I think like if he takes short notice fights at 185 because he's walking around like 190.
Yeah.
Like it's not. But I think it's good odds as a dog. Like if Holland was the favorite, I wouldn't do it. But if I'm getting like odds on it, I think it's gonna be close enough. Like even though Nelson is likely to win, I think Holland pulls out the win.
Yeah. I can see that.
Then we got 3 more fights left in the main card. Molly McCain versus Alexia.
You're doing a 6-fight main card?
Thurnere. Yep.
Interesting.
I guess that no one's ducked out. So like, things that happen actually on the like weight misses and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like injuries. But I think this one's an easy one. I like Alexa Thurnere is like 11-1. She's a slight favorite of -190. She's younger than McCain. The Bates is the same height. She has a little bit of reach. McCann, yeah, I don't know, like
not John McCain.
Yeah. McCann. I'm going with Alexa. I think she's just gonna have it. And I think because McCann has been on like this losing streak too. I mean, this might be able to bring it back to a hometown fight, but
I think is she a grappler? The girl she's fighting?
She is from Brazil, so that's not out of the question.
Probably then. So and then like grappling's her kryptonite. So
yeah. But she just is coming off the Contender Series. So.
Oh,
that's all she is. She's still new to the UFC. I just think.
Oh, fuck. I wouldn't even bet on it. And that's too hard.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just giving a pick just to give a pick. It might not be in my parlay. We'll put it on our Instagram thing. We'll put like what we did.
Yeah, Brady, just start doing that. Just put your picks up.
And then this one is something I think I'm going to avoid. It's Chris Duncan of Scotland versus Jordan Vujicic of England.
Yeah, I just got a pair of shorts made by the company that sponsors Jordan. So,
and he is a -400 favorite. So I'm going to stay away from betting.
Who is?
Jordan.
Really? Yeah. Chris Duncan was on the Contender Series. I remember he had like a crazy knockout. That's how he got in the UFC.
Yep. And he's had quite a few. He's had 4 UFC fights in the Contender Series, 3-1.
Interesting. Okay.
Won the last one, lost the second to last one, won 2 more.
Is that at 155?
It is at 155.
Okay. You ever see Jordan's tats?
No. Holy shit. I'm looking at it now. Yeah. Holy shit. He's like a fucking canvas.
Yeah.
And then the thing with Jordan, that's interesting. I'm surprised he's the favorite. So he lost in his UFC fight.
Was winning the whole fight. Or was winning the fight. And then I think he kind of gassed.
Yeah. He just lost. Like I'm guessing he gassed round 3 because he was a decision loss round 3. And then he's only been fighting Cage Warriors before. So like he has less experience than Duncan. And the records are 13-3 and 12-2. I think like I'm not gonna put this on a parlay, but I think I would just do an outright 1 unit on Duncan. I think we're getting +300 odds.
Yeah,
for that it seems like he's the favorite, unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, those are great odds
for that. And then the final fight of the main card, Nathaniel Wood from England versus Morgan Cherie of France. It's a featherweight fight. Nothing very different. Like they're right around the same age, 31, 29. Roughly around only 2 height difference. Reach is basically the same. They're both orthodox. Wood's more of a striker, and they have Morgan as a mixed martial artist. It's tough. Like Nathaniel Wood is the favorite, but
I'm looking up his record right now.
He's 20-6, and then Morgan Cherie is 20-10. And Morgan Cherie is the favorite by -155.
Oh, they got Leonard Cavanaugh on the prelims. They got Shauna Bannon. They got some pretty big names on this card.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the hometown kid. I like the odds of +130 for Nathaniel Wood. Nothing stands out to me too much.
Yeah, dude, I might put a little parlay together. I gotta figure it.
Yeah, but I think that's a good main card. It'll be fun, like things starting at 4 o'clock. That's when it starts. So
the main card starts at 4.
4. Yep. Prelims at 1.
I think I'll be bowling at that time, so it'll probably be on in the bowling alley.
Oh yeah, because it's on ESPN Plus. Yeah. Free. Where are you bowling?
It's my brother-in-law's birthday, so we're going towards like Becca's parents' house. So like Elizabeth.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
that's fun.
It'd be nice to do some shit. get my mind off the shit before the fight week starts. I think I'm going to leave next Thursday. Me and Lucas are going to leave in the morning next Thursday.
And then last, just wanted to touch upon, I always like to touch upon it, the one championship. But this time it's insane though, Anthony.
You always touch it.
It's a number card. So it's like 1/172 in Japan.
Like pay-per-view
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it's wild, dude. Guess how many championship fights are on this card?
I'm going to guess 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's crazy.
They have 5. And then their main event isn't even a championship fight. It's just like a super fight between Rod Tang, who, you know, of course, you've heard of Rod Tang, killer Muay Thai fighter, and then Takaru, who is like an insane kickboxer from Japan. So they're doing a kickboxing fight, which rule-wise difference, guys, there's just no elbows, no clinch. But Rod Tang doesn't really care because he lets his hands
Do no elbows in kickboxing?
No. Well, I mean, not necessarily no elbows, like no clinch elbows. Like you can still like, I believe you can. Like maybe you can. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, the rules are so weird.
Yeah,
who knows? But
that was gonna be fun. This card for striking guys is like well worth watching.
Are there MMA fights or
yeah? There's gonna be MMA fights. They're like
Muay Thai fights.
Yeah. So then there's another kickboxing fight with my favorite fighter, Taiwan Chai. My favorite fighter, dude. His fighting for kickboxing world championship for first Masi Nori, a Japanese fighter.
Does kickboxing mean big gloves?
Yeah, big gloves.
Okay.
Even Rod Tang is big gloves. But then we get some exciting fights. Super also fighting on the same card.
Damn.
Versus this young kid Nabil. And money, they're fighting at like 135, 145. I can't remember because it's like, oh no, they're fighting 145. And Nabil's like 6'1". There's like a huge height difference because he's like a young kid that's still filling out. And like, I bet you Nabil eventually will be like a 155 or just because like he's still young and he's filling out his body, but they're fighting in Muay Thai. And Super Light beat him before, but this kid's been on this 6 winning streak. So it'll be interesting to see for this rematch.
What day is this on?
It's weird because it's going to be, it starts because it's in Japan, technically Sunday at 3:00 Eastern, like our time. So they'll be on like Sunday morning, the main card, I bet you like 6 or 7.
Okay. So while I'm at work Sunday, I'm going to have to keep tabs on that.
Yeah. And then the one card, the one thing, another good fight, it's going to be sick, is this Italian kid, Jonathan DeBella, is finally like injury free. He's fighting in big gloves against a legend. This guy's like young, like the age wise is at 40 something. Damn, this insane, like so many fights. So we're talking 200, 300 like Muay Thai fights, fighting this dude in kickboxing. Just like, it's interesting because like Jonathan DeBella is this young, up and coming, like super crisp fighter, fought like Glory and Matt, did well. So it'll be interesting to see new school versus old school. It's like I like Sammy, but I think Jonathan's just too young and too quick. He's gonna take it all. And then for you, Anthony, this one's gonna be a cool one. There's this young up and comer lightweight MMA fighter. It's worth watching. Adrian Lee. His brother's already like a champion for one. He's like the youngest sibling. He's fun because he's like kind of a total package. Like he's been wrestling in high school in Hawaii, like grappling there because that's where they're based out of. And that's on a premium card. But like,
these are on Amazon. Amazon Prime.
This is usually Amazon, but this one will be free for us, I believe. Let me see where. Watch a 5 pay-per-view. Yeah, I think it's going to be on either Amazon or it'll be on YouTube, of course.
YouTube would be cool. I like when they put their fights on YouTube.
And sad thing is, within like a day or two, pay-per-view. They're not like stingy like the UFC, which I like, where like, dude, even price-wise, dude, to buy the pay-per-view, guess how much they're charging?
$20?
35. Yeah.
Really?
It's so much. It's like half the price of UFC.
Yeah, dude. I
just saw good cards on. Like, this is a good fight.
Yeah, there's some like good fights. I just saw a report like from some insider that ESPN is apparently like super unhappy with the UFC pay-per-view numbers, which adds up because, you know, it's so easy to stream them somewhere else and it's just so overpriced.
So if we think about it, like that last UFC card with like Pereira, it was still on ESPN Plus. You can watch it the day after, like for the next couple of days.
I mean, I feel like that's how it should be.
It should be, but it's on usually like, I think ESPN was fucking with that a little bit.
Yeah, I think, I just saw they're probably going to go to Netflix. So if that happens, I think
it's a win-win move. I think it's a win-win move because UFC can like get more money from Netflix in the sense of, you know, we just charge you an upfront like fee to like stream all our fights and do it. Netflix gets a whole new network of subscribers that may not subscribe to Netflix. And someone will be like, yo, if you tell them, yo, you pay $15 a month for Netflix or even like whatever the cheap one is to watch UFC all the time, they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's nothing to them because they pay $70 a card.
Yeah, I think you're probably going to see the fighter pay go up since if they did that, they'd probably go do away with the pay-per-view model.
Yeah.
Especially with like them being upset with the numbers currently. So I think you would see more or less, or you would see no pay-per-views, and then you would see the fighter pay go up a little bit because they would have to, because you're not going to see these champions be getting pay-per-view money and all that. So I think it'd be a good change, a good big change. It would reach a bigger audience. It would grow the sport. And honestly, there's times where I'll try to watch a UFC card, like a fight night card or something, and the stream is just like not good.
Yeah.
Like it looks like it's in low definition and like cutting out and out.
And there were issues on Netflix with the Jake Paul fight.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to figure it out because that was like the first time they did it.
And there was so many people watching. I don't think as many people would be watching a UFC card unless it's like a ginormous card, you know?
But hopefully they get enough reps to like figure it out. It's not like an unwinnable solution.
Yeah, they're fine.
But yeah, now that's all we have for today, everyone. We appreciate you watching. Tune in next week.
Oh, shit.
And then, speaking of it, Anthony is fighting next Saturday. Hit him off for tickets. There is no pay-per-view, right?
No pay-per-view. It'll be on a local sports channel there at a later date, but there is no live pay-per-view. So if you want to come see it, ask me for tickets. I'm almost out of my extra tickets that I asked for. So, yeah, if you want to go, just let me know and I will hand deliver the tickets to your hand.
All right, everyone. Catch you next week.
Peace out.